I think it's really important that people understand that even though commodity prices have come down quite a bit in the last several weeks, the reality is that the fundamentals, the fact that demand is far outstripping supply, is still in place. If you look at the population growth, the increases in wealth, and the fact that there will be many more people living in urban areas over time, that push in demand is definitely not going to be able to be met by a supply of land, water, energy, and minerals as we know today.
Well, China desperately does need these resources, considering its growth, considering it is now the world's second largest economy and no doubt has aspirations to be at #1. It is going about securing vast quantities of these resources all over the world. What does that mean for the United States, the world's #1 economy, and for other countries?
Well, so China has adopted a multilateral approach to securing resources, and I think it's really, really essential for people to understand that there are three key aspects of this approach. First of all, they have basically befriended countries that I call in the axis of the unloved. These are regions and countries that have traditionally been ignored by Western countries as destinations for investment. Places like Africa, much of South America, but also parts of Eastern Europe. So Brazil, Argentina, all across Africa, Kazakhstan, and so on. So that's one really big aspect which differs from what you see in the Western approach. The second aspect is the fact that China is, to some people's mind, overpaying for these assets, using her over $3 trillion in foreign exchange reserves. This vast amount of money is being used as a big push for resources across the globe. And again, this sets her apart from the abilities of many of the would-be competitors. And then finally, China has become the price setter for many resources. Things like copper and coal, China is the go-to buyer and therefore is able to influence prices. This approach has set China completely separate and apart from places like the United States, which have tended to adopt a unilateral approach to securing resources and, as we know, have opted to use military force, as we've seen in Iraq, for example.
Yeah, as you say, China does have the cash, but its economy is also slowing down. There are rumours of a stimulus package that will be needed to prop up this economy. Will this affect China's race, I guess, for these resources?
Well, look, the fact of the matter is there are going to be tactical changes all the time. Things are going to be bumpy as China progresses over her plans to, basically reduce economic poverty in that country. So am I worried about China's economy slowing down? No, not really. I mean, the worst case scenarios that we're seeing around 7%, 7.5% economic growth. But, that set against a 2% growth in resource supplies around the world suggests to me that there's still a 5% gap that the world cannot meet. And therefore, this leaves me quite bullish for resources in terms of the next several years.